So overall, I am pleased with the way things have been going. I know that you've released these polls right in the week leading up to our party conference, and we really appreciate the timing of that. It's fair to say that since we went through the 2020 elections, which obviously was a difficult process for us, and the results were very disappointing for us. We have been in the process of rebuilding. We've gone through a decade of changes of leadership, and each one of those changes has left some amount of ripples in its wake that we have had to be managing to bring everybody back together and to become a cohesive team. Certainly since I became the party leader in November 2020, a lot of effort has been put into doing that. We established a unity committee and chaired really by Dr. Maxine Henry Wilson, and we established a mediation facility within the party. We had a lot of opportunities for dialogue in settings that were conducive to open discussion, and I think we've made tremendous progress. Yes, there have been some hiccups along the way. You referred to one of them last year, July, but we have managed to achieve a situation where at this annual conference coming up this weekend, we will have a change into our vice president cohort, where 2 new vice presidents will be coming on board. Senator Donna Scott Motley being one, and Mikhail Phillips, MP, being another. And 2 of the existing vice presidents did not seek re-election. And so that will, I think, evidence our ability to manage our situations in a way that allows us to move forward without the kind of turbulence that internal contests often cause within political parties. And I would say on the ground, going through our conference season, because the way our party is structured, each divisional organization must have an annual conference, and then each constituency must have an annual conference, and then the party. So the divisional conferences, and there are 227 divisions, I think, in the country. They normally happen in May, June, and then constituency conferences in July, August. So we've had a lot of those, and I've attended many of them all over the country. And I can tell you that the energy has been very good. The attendance has been excellent. The party rank and file are energized and keen to see us move forward, and I think they like the moves that have been made. We made some adjustments to our shadow cabinet. You mentioned that as well. And that was, and not the shadow cabinet, but also parliamentary arrangements around that, and brought closer into the center of decision making some of the key people who I think are important team players within the party, and we wanted to make sure that everybody saw them as having that prominent role, and that went down well as also. And we brought in the shadow cabinet changes, brought in some people into positions that they were keen to demonstrate their capacity in, and move some others around into other areas where they have a particular interest and also capacity and relationships that will make them very effective. So overall, I am pleased with the way things have been going. I know that you've released these polls right in the week leading up to our party conference, and we really appreciate the timing of that. But what I would say to you is, those polls are a mixed bag for us. Certainly in terms of the favorability ratings, for me personally, they represent an improvement, which I think is due to the fact that I have been working quite hard at going out into the country. As much as COVID did make it difficult to do that type of work because you couldn't gather, so our ability to hold spot meetings and so on was curtailed for much of the period that I was, the earlier period when I was the president. But between the opening up of the country and being able to do that again, and then morphing into the conference season, I've been able to be on the ground quite a bit, and also made efforts to be more present in the media where I can be, and so on. And so, the improvements that I've seen in my own personal favorability, I think, reflect that. The party's favorability has also improved, and I'm grateful for that. In terms of the poll standings, where we see, obviously, we're still significantly behind, and we made a marginal improvement. The government side made a bigger improvement. We're a bit perplexed with how that reconciles with the favorability ratings, but it is what it is, and it's always a snapshot of a particular point in time, and we're in a dynamic situation. But what it indicates to us is that what we now need to do, we have been fairly inwardly focused because of the issues that we had to address. Now that I think we're substantially past those, Team PNP now needs to be much more outwardly focused in terms of delivering our message to the people. And that will start with this conference and will continue thereafter. And I will resume my activities of being out on the ground. So that is, I think, going to continue to build our fortunes as we go forward.
I think last year we spoke about expanding voting in the party to its wider membership. I just want to get an update on that and in terms of where the PNP is with that process.
Right. So that is a part of the work that we have been doing in terms of widening that democratic process within the party. So at this conference, we're going to take that resolution, which is the universal voting rights, to ensure that every member of the party will be able to cast their vote in a national election for president, vice president of the party. This, we believe, is something that is important. It solidifies who we are as a democratic movement, and it ensures that there is no manipulation of the system in terms of how one would seek to manipulate, say, a delegate system, but that now every single member would be able to cast their vote. It would mean that we would have to decentralize future elections, as was the case in the 2020 November election. We would have voting via parish and those things.
September. November, yeah.
And that's not the only resolution that is there. There are others because we have taken a decision to actually address some of these issues. Long-standing resolutions, some of them coming from many years back, but all of them we have taken a decision that we're actually treating with them. So you also have the diaspora membership resolution, which is also one that is going to new frontier in making the party accessible for membership for persons who don't normally reside in Jamaica, but who are members of the party and who want to be
want to become members.
Who want to become members of the party. And those persons are very excited about it, persons in the diaspora. And so we are looking at, as I said to you, first treating with the issues within the party. When we turn to campaign mode and we now get into that phase, then the poll numbers and those things will change at that time. But what we're doing now is to set a solid foundation and a base on which we can then step forward to have meaningful conversation with a track record showing what we have done. So when we say something, persons don't have to question whether or not it is just talk, but they can see that this is coming out of action and that we have actually laid a foundation to do the things that we say we're going to do.
I would just add that the expansion of voting rights to each member having the right to vote in elections for the president and vice president, which currently is restricted to delegates. That is a campaign commitment that I gave when I was in campaigning for leader. So it is something which I'm fully on board with. And we have been working through the modalities of how that would actually work and the constitutional changes that are required to implement it. And so we've reached the point. It's going back now to the delegates at conference for approval this weekend.
And that is it has gone through the consultation,
yeah.
which is why it took this time.
Yeah, we're our organization. A decision like that isn't just taken in the leader's head. I mean, it goes first to each region. It has to be debated at each region and come back with whatever their views on it are. So that process takes some time, and and this is obviously a fundamental change because we've been around for 84 years, and this is the first time we're doing this. So it's a big change for us.
What's the current party's membership?
In terms of delegates, we have just over 3,000.
But membership is significantly
So
more.
you pretty much go 10 times that
Yeah.
number.
Close
They
to
don't have a
yeah.
specific number of your members.
I mean, I do have it in the office, but I don't have it on the top of my head
Yeah.
like that.
It's
And I'm
between-
sure we've had new members since today.
Yeah. Mid 30,000.